conference start in 6 seasons. Tip was initially controlled by Kyron Whittington, and then Memphis grabs it back in the Blues. Tulane guards in the home whites. Green Wave on their home floor this year, 7-2. They have played 4 of their first 6 conference games away from home. Memphis off a tough 2-point loss to UTSA on Wednesday. That pass is stolen away by Whittington.
Back-to-back turnovers to start the game here. You got to settle.
I was just going to say Memphis coming off a really tough loss where they led UTSA by 11 with under 4 to go and lost. Bowler, Hageman, Welch, Williamson, and Smith. This is the 10th lineup in 18 games that Alex Simmons has used. So suffice to say, still trying to find the right combination.
And they really have started finding their flow. They had a lot of injuries early, players playing in different positions, but now they're starting to settle into what they want their lineup to be.
Hageman missed it in and out. That's a long 2 on the way and off the mark for Tanyel Welch, redshirt sophomore from Indianapolis. This is the Tulane starting 5. It has been used 16 times in 18 games now. This group together 10-5. As Keenan tries a 3 and misses. She joins Sneed in the backcourt with Whittington, and there's a 3 ball and down. And that's what Keenan does. Comes in from 3-point range, more than 48%, good for 7th nationally.
You cannot leave Victoria Keenan open outside. She had such a wide open look, and she's absolutely going to nail it.
She has made a 3 in 17 of Tulane's 18 games now this year. This is Hageman. She's a Michigan State transfer on a team that's got 6 transfers. Baseline jumpers off for Williamson.
Pace that Tulane wants to play and make sure that they're going into their flow as far as what they want to do offensively. And then that post-production, that's where they were hit the hardest with the injuries, so need to see some production down low. Tulane got to take care of the ball, already seen that being a problem, and then with the length that Memphis has, have to win the glass.
Reese Pittman's been aggressive over the...
Are what are going to kill you. You want to maximize your possessions. Early in the game, there's been far too many.
Ashley Langford not happy. Her team against Wichita State turned it over 19 times. That led to 16 Wichita State points. It could have been worse, frankly. There's a 3 for Bowler, and it's good. Now she's shooting 37% from 3. That's her 41st make of the year from downtown, the Jackson State transfer.
Bowler picking up where she left off last game, and you do not want her to get hot.
Keenan, you don't want to get her hot either. Misses there. It's tipped out by Mabry to Bowler, who gets a running start. Played on those outstanding Jackson State teams. And there's a 3 with a foul put in by Hageman. And it's not like she was just playing there. She was a huge contributor. Second team All Big Ten last year. Honorable mention the 2 years prior to that, including an all-freshman team selection. So started 77 of her 87 games in East Lansing. That's a really good get for Alex Simmons.
Absolutely, and she came in a little bit late, but she fit in seamlessly with this team.
Good pass, Keenan to Dylan Hanna, who just checked in. And she's able to finish. Stops a 7-0 Memphis run. Ashley Langford has raved about Dylan Hanna's production on the defensive end all year. It's found money when you give her offense as well. That's a misfire. Whittington saved it inbounds for Pittman. Pressure coming behind her, stolen away by Smith. Something she does so well. One of the active leaders in D1, and a finish on the other end for Welch.
Those live ball turnovers, they're going to get you every time. Memphis quick and easy to the basket.
Yeah, that was one of the first things Ashley Langford spotlighted to us talking to her about this matchup. Whittington given all the space in the world to fire a 3, and she drains it. Hasn't always been easy for her from downtown this year. 27.5% coming in.
She's dealt with a few injuries, so she's kind of battling through that.
How about the 3-point shooting by Hageman? Only 25% coming in from 3, and she's knocked down 2 of them in the first 4 minutes.
Shots can be contagious. If you start seeing your teammates draining them, then you have an open look, you're going to take it.
Tulane's 3-point defense has been outstanding as Keenan throws a bad pass. Hageman stolen away. 3-on-1 Memphis. They go to Bowler on the wing, slashes on Sneed, left it short, and they call a cylinder violation.
They show hands, they're active. What's hurting them right now is the turnovers on the offensive end.
Hageman's already made 2 threes, give her a third. So Hageman with 3 triples after coming in shooting at 25% from 3. She's nearly halfway to her season total here in this first quarter. Shores off the mark from 3. Keenan tracked it down. Shot clock doesn't reset. Tulane a 3 of 6 start from the field.
A bit up and down, but Sadie Shores has started conference play really well, and it's helped with her confidence. I'm sure she'll be right back in it here soon.
Scoreless against Wichita State on Wednesday, but yeah, to your point, got up to a terrific start to AAC play. Entered that game Wednesday averaging nearly 10 points in league games. Smith down low. That's a tough catch by Cox, but she missed it. It was knocked away from her. Hannah, one of the best shot blockers in the American.
Tulane really needs to just settle in, play their game, and share the ball, but they have to do it with intention. You can't have
lazy passes anywhere in the vicinity of Elijah Smith, who entering today has 373 career steals. That's second among active players in D1. So
yeah, it's something she does very well.
already has had her hands on, 3 or 4 basketballs. Sadie Shores in the lane, falls away, and there's Smith rebounding. She's the 5th active leading rebounder Division I as well. Hageman with 3 triples. Down low, Cox put it up and in. Memphis off to a terrific offensive start. They've gotten production from a bunch of different places, and they lead by 9.
That was a great feed down low.
Pittman given all day for 3. And she's off the mark. She just has not found the range from 3-point this season. Now 5 for 33. She's missed her last 10 from long range.
And you're going to live with that. If Pittman's not hitting from outside, you're going to let her shoot.
Hageman on the drive, and too much hasn't been shy about using the entire country. I should say, yeah, using the entire country to recruit, because there are players from 11 states on this team.
And she has definitely used the transfer portal as well, and she's gotten some great players from it.
And we mentioned Hageman, the impact she's made. Bowler, the leading scorer from Jackson State. They got a player in Alana Eaton who's transferred from 2 SEC schools, Ole Miss and Arkansas as well. Shot clock to 7. Pittman will pass on the...
For Tulane to settle into a rhythm.
It's a defense that has been much improved in conference play. They're still averaging 74 points for opponents, but again, that's down from allowing about 83 in the non-conference. Hageman on the scoop, lays it in. What a first quarter for her. How about a dozen points on 4 for 6 shooting?
It was a great read, though, on the action. She saw the screen, and she had leads, especially late in games, and things have fallen apart. So it's really...
Or at the free throw line. Whittington only 65% this year. Doesn't get the roll on the second one. They have really struggled as a group this year. 63% as a team is bottom 20 in the country. Elijah Smith outside Hageman. She's got a 4th first quarter 3. 15 first quarter points of the 22 for Memphis, who now lead by 13.
Do not leave that lady open outside. She is draining them.
Keenan tries to respond, and it swirls out. Again, Hageman came in from 3-point range, 7 to 25. It's contagious now. That's
agitated by this Memphis press and the defense that they're playing with.
You can see those 2 conference losses to Rice and East Carolina. Both opponents made 9 on better than 37% shooting from 3, but it has been a struggle today to guard the triple. It's a misfire from Keenan. Tulane's now taken 8 of their 11 shots from 3-point range to steal. Keenan took it away. No field goals going on more than 4 minutes for the Green Wave. Can someone get this offense jump-started?
And just don't make it too hard. Go for the easy look.
Well, that was a better one, but Pittman missed it with the left. Racing down the floor with Tamaya Smith. She spins in the lane and missed it. Memphis had made their previous 7 shots from the floor. Shores cut off on the baseline by Hageman. We approach 90 seconds to go in this first quarter that has been dominated by Memphis. Shores cut off. Whittington searching for someone.
Yeah, Memphis is on them like paint. There's no space.
They got to go with 3 on the timer. Shores in the lane, and she hits. Needed that one in a big way. Sadie Shores with her first field goal.
Big time step up by the freshman.
Finally a missed three-pointer. Felt like a while since their last miss from three.
It's 3 stops now by missed field goals, but Tulane has an opportunity here.
Tanya Welch misses after Memphis had made their previous 6 triples. Keenan for 3. Yeah, she can do that. Better than 48% from three-point range brings Tulane within 11.
And if she is open, you want her to shoot because she shoots at such a high clip, and those threes right now really help Tulane get back in this game.
Multiple threes now for Keenan in all but 2 games this year for Tulane. Hageman up top, it's Smith, and she threw it away. It's a 5th Memphis turnover. Pittman leads the push. Down the lane she goes with the left and banked it in. So a nice spurt to close the quarter for Tulane. Not going to get a stop.
Momentum seems to be shifting here.
They always talk about closing quarters strong. Both of these coaches preach it to us. Shot clock is dark, 5 seconds to go in the first quarter. Hageman leans in, missed it. And Tulane won't get it. Memphis lead.
Things up a little bit on the defensive end, and offensively, you got to value the basketball.
2 very different games last year in this series. 80-79 in the game in Memphis in overtime. Memphis won it by a point. It was 54-44 here in New Orleans. We might be there at halftime the way this thing's trending with Memphis scoring at will. Another bucket for Tilly Bowler.
It has been a fast-paced game, which usually plays well into Tulane's hands.
Look at those numbers in the second quarter. It's been a key one for both teams. Positive for Tulane, negative for Memphis. Tulane plus 55 in the second quarter in the scoring column in conference games as Snead flips it up and in.
Talking to Coach Simmons, she said that her team is just waiting to turn the corner. They have been there all season in so many games, and maybe we're seeing them turn that corner today.
Lakin Cox finishes. Sadie Shores will try a triple. Dylan Hanna on the offensive glass. It's grabbed though by Elijah Smith, who's listed at 5'10". She plays a lot bigger than that. Averages nearly 9 rebounds a game. Cox inside missed it. She's one of a couple of Gardner-Webb transfers to come over with Alex Simmons a year ago. Of course, Simmons led Gardner-Webb to that historic 18-0 regular season. Marcus Pittman rattles home a long 2. Their staff, for the most part, also was with Simmons at Gardner-Webb, bringing over a team that won more than 30 games, as Hageman misses from 3. She knocked down 4 of 5 from distance in the first quarter. Keenan to Shores. Had some space, waited, and missed a bunny.
Great patience by Shores, though, to wait for the defender to fly by. Just couldn't finish.
Don't know if she realized how open she was initially. 9-point Memphis advantage, shooting better than 52% in this game so far, including 6 triples on 9 tries. They want to post up with Smith. Watched by the smaller Snead. Back at it goes to Bowler with the shot clock at 4. She's got to get going. Down the lane, a sidestep, missed it. Pittman rebounds. Pittman's been a great presence on the
10 Memphis points.
Well, again, 19 turnovers at Wichita State on Wednesday. Probably fortunate that the Shockers only turned that into 16 points. Could have been worse. Hageman gives off for Eaton. Inside they work it. Back out to Eaton. Closed out well by Kayla Hampton, seeing her first minutes. It's Smith, given all time for 3. And she left it on the heel. Snead pushing the pace. Down the lane or drop off pass.
Ends up losing the ball.
9 turnovers for Tulane, 8 made field goals. That's never a great recipe.
No.
Snead putting the moves on Hageman. Played her well defensively. Hageman, a terrific defender. And she starts the break. That's a long one from Eaton, and she knocked it in from Memphis.
She is an offensive three-point threat, and she is showing you why.
That was an NBA distance 3. That Smoothie
Just
King,
about.
that would have been beyond the arc. Eaton's got a second triple. They're now 7 for 11 from 3. Mabry misfires from distance. She has struggled with her three-point shot. She's now missed her last 9 after making 5 of her previous 10.
Then, or their opponents turn it over less against them. So they're having opportunities now to score more than they usually do off of their opponent's mistakes.
Already 10 points off 9 Tulane turnovers. They run Keenan off a screen. She's already got a couple of triples. And Eaton has the rebound. Eaton 2 years at Arkansas before 2 years at Ole Miss. We've seen her range already. Smooth looking lefty, steps back and connects again, that time a long two. So Eaton's played a total of 5 minutes and has scored 8 points. Pretty good, more than a point per minute.
That's just pure confidence right there. Stepping on the court, draining one from deep, and then following it up with a short shot.
Mabry tried to save it in bounds, she did, but it's another Tulane turnover, their 10th. Hageman on the run, missed it. Offensive rebound, Bowler. Memphis not usually a very good offensive rebounding team. They look inside, no foul called. Williamson wanted some contact, as did Alex Simmons. Whittington will try a three. Mabry long rebound.
Tulane really needs to settle in, not force shots. You got to attack space, move the ball a little bit more.
They missed their last 5 shots. They're in a scoring drought going on 3.5 minutes. Mabry with nowhere to go. Shot clock's at 3. Snead has to hoist it up. And the 3-point.
So early on in her career. But she does say that she thinks of Coach Summit often, and she reminds herself of her mentality of surrounding yourself with people that have the same goals and the mindset as you do.
Well, she's done a great job of filling out her staff. One of those staff members, Harlan Wyatt, a Tulane alumni. So we have a couple of Tulane alums on each bench in this game. And that jumper bounces around and off. It's a tie-up. And possession is every year when we talk about the We Back Pat Week and all the great stuff they do to raise awareness for Alzheimer's.
It's incredible to look back at everything that she accomplished.
Yeah. Nearly 1,100 wins, but her impact just stretched far beyond that. Getting the chance to talk with us. Candace, of course, doing great work in broadcasting now after her tremendous career as a player.
Would be nice to have Candace Parker on your speed dial, right? Ask her a couple questions about the game.
Absolutely, as Mabry is fouled on the floor. And that's only the first on Memphis as a team, so nowhere near the bonus. Inbounds pass to Pittman, beautifully done. Whittington saw her cutting the whole way, and Tulane has stolen a number of possessions off inbounds plays this year.
It's a great read and just the quick decision-making there.
That stops it. It's going to start with protecting the basketball.
And once you get opportunities to score, you have to maximize, capitalize on them.
They're 3 of 10 so far here in this second quarter. 0 for 5 from 3. Backdoor, Keenan for 2. Well, they missed all 5 of the threes, but the 2-point shot is working out. 4 of 6 inside the arc.
A great find by Mabry. She was backing down her defender.
Now Keenan leads the way for Tulane with 8. Hageman with 15 to pace all scorers early, courtesy of 4 3-pointers. She's backtracking now with 3:30 to go in the half. Bowler off the bounce. Her floater is in. Tilly Bowler, grad transfer from Jackson State.
Stop her anywhere because she can score at all 3 levels, and she provides so much for this Memphis team. They needed a scorer, and they went out and got one.
She's already scored 20 or more points 7 times this year. On track to be the 3rd in the last decade to have 10 20-point games in the season. There is Bowler. There's 3 more. So Tilly Bowler hitting her second triple. She's in double figures with 10. And then Memphis lead balloons back to 15. Again, 37% from 3. That's good for 3rd best in the American coming in. Shore's lefty scoop is good. Good aggressive attack by the true freshman.
Shores did a really good job playing through that contact.
You can see Memphis every time down the floor. They have been so quick to get shots up. Mabry, speaking of being quick, down the floor for 2.
Finish when they have gotten those opportunities on those turnovers from Memphis.
4 straight conference losses for Memphis since winning their AAC opener against Wichita State on New Year's Day. Been 17 days since their last win. Eaton knocks down another 3. Her 3rd, she's now got 11. 3 Memphis Tigers in double figures. They've got 42 first half points and 9 first half triples.
It's just great ball movement by Hageman to be able to see her teammate over there and trust her to knock down the shot.
Keenan for Whittington. Inside 2 minutes to play in this first half. Whittington takes some contact, threw it off the side of the backboard. Trying to draw a foul. Numbers for Memphis if they hurry. Bowler extra feed. Hageman down the lane. Her scoop is in.
What
they just
a
keep
move.
pouring on. She's got some skills. There's a reason why she was all Big Ten last year.
She's all over the place on both ends of the court.
Pittman did a good job as Smith went down to lay it in. Well, right now, Tulane just can't consistently get stops. Eaton leaves that three short. They were 9 for 13 from three before that miss.
Tulane.
Keenan from the parking lot for three. 26 feet, I think.
I was going to say, they might want to slow it down a little bit, but Keenan saw daylight, and rightfully so. She did not have a defender within reach.
3 triples in this first half for Keenan. 54 on the year. Eaton's already got 3 threes. Give her a fourth. Their 10th three of the first half on 15 tries. And Eaton's got 4 of them.
That is a really high percentage and not the norm. They shoot very well, but you want to think that that is going to even out a little bit.
They made 5 threes in their loss against UTSA on Wednesday. They've doubled that in the first half. It's not just one player killing you if you're Ashley Langford.
Right.
Eaton's made 4. Hageman's made 4. Bowler's made 2, which we're used to seeing, but this is a team that's got a lot of weapons from deep.
Well, it's players that weren't on the scouting report to be that type of a threat. So you were leaving them a little bit more space outside, and now you're going to have to adjust.
Bowler works at baseline long. Now Tulane gets a final crack at it. 5.2. Inbound to Whittington with 3 with 2. Whittington's got to hoist it up.
Just so key for Tulane is because they've had major struggles with the turnover battle this season. They've averaged over 18 turnovers a game, which is well above the national average. And tonight the problems have continued to the tune of 12 turnovers by halftime. While the 19 turnovers they had against Wichita State didn't come back to bite them in the end, it's made a huge difference on the scoreboard here against Memphis. Whether it be turnovers from bad luck or rush decisions, Tulane's going to need to settle down here quick if they want to launch a comeback. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, great call on that, Charles. We appreciate it as always. As Sneed goes inside and draws a foul. So Jack Charles spotlighted. It's something, if you're going to turn it over, it's got to be the dead ball variety.
It has to be their composure after that. They have to settle down here to start the second half of play.
So Sneed makes 1 of 2 free throws, and there's a takeaway. So a turnover on Memphis, their 8th. Keenan backtracks for 3, you bet. So Keenan has gotten it rolling from distance. Her 4th triple, give her 14.
Keenan is always going to be ready out there, and I like her decision to keep it and let it fly.
Again, better than 48% from 3 coming in. They go inside to Smith, who didn't her 4th triple.
She's wide open on the perimeter, takes 1 step back to make sure she's well beyond the 3-point line and drains it.
It's her 6th game this year with 4 or more threes. Mabry inside, muscled her way between 2 defenders and squeezed it up and in to get it back to single digits for the first time in a while.
A little more intensity to this Green Wave squad to start the second half of play.
So it has begun in the defensive end. That's where Ashley Langford's calling card has been with this group. Tanya Welch deflected, a 3rd turnover in 3 trips. Sneed on the run. Keenan thought about a heat check. Sneed dashing down the lane, puts it up and in with a foul. Lamar played for them back in the day, was a Memphis Hall of Famer actually. Now coaches over at Lamar. She drills that free throw.
Who do you think he's cheering for today?
I think he's cheering for his daughter, but I think he's busy cheering for the Lamar Cardinals right now. Have a big Southland game against McNeese. He's an assistant coach for Aqua Franklin. They've had a terrific program the last few years. Baseline jumpers in for Tilly Bowler. So she stopped that 9-0 third quarter push. Bowler's now got a dozen. Again, 3 Memphis players have 12 or more. Bowler, Hageman leading the way with 17, and Eaton's got 14 off the bench. Pittman, size mismatch, can't take advantage. That's the right play.
It was a good look, too.
Great pass. Smith running the floor, and Whittington fouled her. Just got so Smith to the line. A little of her college career. You can see her active ranks against Division I players. Only she and Anissa Morrow of LSU are in the top 10 in each of those three categories. Steals, rebounds, and double-doubles. As Memphis gets a steal, can't pay it off with a three by Hageman. So they've come back to earth a little bit, but they take it away again. And a finish inside for Raven Sims, the sophomore from Memphis. She did not score against UTSA. She's given them a big boost off the bench.
Well, now it's Memphis with that press. They're really picking up Tulane high.
Back to a 10-point game just like that. 14 Tulane turnovers have led to 15 Memphis points. Sneed for Keene, and that's a bad pass. Memphis 2-on-1. Smith to the rim. Put it in with a foul. Smith right back to the free throw line. 3 years at Gardner-Webb. She was two-time first-team All-Big South. She was the Big South Defensive Player of the Year back in 2023. Has worked so hard on the offensive side of her game, and that part of it has blossomed as well over the last couple of years. Pittman is hounded. They deny Sneed the basketball. They're making Pittman initiate. She's having trouble. Working in the lane, put it up and off, rebound Smith. That's terrific defense all around by Memphis.
Great
Smith
defense.
Tried to hand it off for Hageman. And a Pittman and Keenan. Memphis, after making 10 first-half threes, 0 of 2 to start this third. Can Tulane's offense keep it rolling? Good start here in the third quarter. Whittington working through traffic, takes some contacts, and the rebound falls into the lap of Williamson. And that's a foul on Hageman's drive. Town of Detroit headed over to East Lansing, and second team All Big Ten a year ago. You can, and by the way, in her career, averages more than 5 assists per game. That's 7th among active D1 players.
She has a really high basketball IQ. She sees the floor well, and her assist numbers would go up a little more if her teammates could help her out.
That's a good point, too.
Today, though, they definitely are.
She misses on that free throw. They certainly missed her over the course of the first month or so of the season when she was ineligible with the transfer, but she's playing some really good basketball today in New Orleans. Sadie Shores off the bounce. Bowler played her 18 on, actually 16 now on Tulane. There are 5 different players with 2 or more turnovers. They pressure in the backcourt on Hageman. She breaks it and draws a foul. A foul was called on Hannah, her first. So they'll inbound to Bowler. 14-point Memphis lead. It's been as large as 16. Tulane has not led in this game. That's swatted out of bounds.
Just the ball, and she's able to get a good hand on it. Blocks are tough. Sometimes it really baits you into a foul.
They go inside. There's kind of a wild attempt by Williams. I'll take full responsibility. Latasia Williamson at Hillsborough High in Nashville. Local kid after 7 games. Remember, Destiny Jackson, who was going to be one of their key guards and point guards, was lost in the exhibition against South Carolina before it. So they have really been ravaged by injuries. Other players have had to step up.
And play in different positions, which is really tough. So now that players are settling back in to their natural roles, I think that's why we're seeing Memphis start to click more over the conference play.
They're running again and finishing again. It's Raven Sims who's come off the bench to give him 4 points in 5 minutes. Shores high off the window for 2. Half dozen points for her. Stops a 13-0 Memphis run. And a scoring drought that had surpassed 3.5 minutes. In the lane, Welch deflected out of
ball turnovers. She doesn't want to give Memphis the opportunity to get out and run and beat the defense back.
Memphis goes inside. That time it looked like Cox got caught underneath. And here comes Tulane. Feels like a very crucial final 4 minutes and 15 to this third to try to trim away at this deficit. Pittman, that's a good start. Off one leg, knocks it in. So Tulane, you saw, started the quarter 9-0. Then Memphis reeled off 13 in a row. They call it a game of runs for a reason. Eaton's off the mark. Here comes Shores. Pushing the pace to Whittington. They didn't see her in transition. Eaton was just backpedaling, trying to cover her man, and Whittington said, I'll take that for 2.
Great speed by Whittington to get back quicker than the defense and kind of hide behind their blind spot.
Can they consistently get stops now becomes the question. It's been tough sledding to slow down Memphis offensively. Welch on the pullback, drops it through again. That's her second bucket, and she's got 4.
You can see Tulane really trying to push the pace now.
Oh, what a pass. How about Shores behind that back to Mabry? Little showtime for the freshman here in Uptown.
Absolutely, trying to beat the defense back before Memphis can get set and get into that agitator mode.
Sadie Shores dropping an absolute dime. That's her first assist. It was a beauty. Bowler to the rim. They're having a lot of trouble shutting down the penetration, and part of that is because when you got to close out on so many three-point shooters, it opens the lane up.
Absolutely. Creates a lot of space.
Whittington thought about it, had it poked away, got it back in the lane, and floats it up and off.
If you want to keep players fresh, then rotate them in and out.
Well, Alex Simmons doesn't have a very deep bench, but she's used her bench players effectively today. They have gotten 22 bench points, 14 of them from Eaton. They run some dribble weave action. That pass to
and be a little disruptive there.
Again, this is a three-point defense for Tulane that was among the nation's best coming in. Memphis has made 10 of 18 threes. They go inside Williamson. Up and in, off the window as the shot clock expired.
Memphis, though, is really using what Tulane's given them because Tulane has had to be kept honest from outside. They are allowing a lot more driving lanes, and Memphis is killing them inside now.
We talked about this being a Memphis team that's a lot better than a 3-13 record would indicate. That's swatted out of bounds. A top 20 team in Tennessee at the half. They've been tied 3 times at the end of the third and lost those games. Pittman off the inbounds pass left it short. And they battled Louisville, too, another ranked team.
I'm just impressed with how tough and hard they play. And they never back down, and they've been in some really close games this year. Last game out against UTSA, they could have won that game, and UTSA is undefeated in conference play.
Bowler, that's a nearly impossible shot on the run. And it'll be a foul called on Williamson. Reaching. Love the shot selection of her 5th-year guard.
Tulane's got to be smart here, make good decisions. Last minute and some change. End the quarter the right way.
Whittington in the corner for Pittman. That was a long 2. Mabry tipped it. Taken by Williamson. They have really held Tulane to one and done on the glass. That's been a huge key as well. Green Wave had 4 first-half offensive rebounds. They've got 1 here in the third quarter.
When your first shot's not falling, those rebounds are so key.
Scoring drought has surpassed 2 minutes for Tulane. Memphis trying to open up its largest lead of the game with a 3. Shot clock at 5 for Welch. Inside the final minute of the third. Inside Smith. Bulldozes over. Got to go 2 for 1. About a 15-second difference in the clocks.
Right. Got to score pretty quickly in the shot clock here, and then you can get another possession to end the quarter.
Well, looks like they're going to just play for the best shot possible. Whittington tried to turn the corner. She's been held in check today. 6 points, 3 turnovers.
Memphis has really made Tulane feel yet today. They have been all over the Green Wave.
Dee Hageman, who had 17 first-half points, has been held to 1 here in the third. Yet Memphis has stretched their lead. Welch on the baseline, just made one from there. An air ball that time, worked out like a pass. Hageman will reload, around and off, and Pittman's got the rebound. With 3, with 2. Shores will launch from half court, good if it goes. Basket with reckless abandon, took 7 free throws and were efficient from the floor again. How does Tulane find a way back in this game?
Tulane has to value the basketball. They have continued to turn it over, and it's something that we've continued to talk about throughout this game. You really have to communicate on the offensive end, move the ball with intention, and find the best option, the best look.
Well, they get a fortunate break there as the ball bounces to Pittman. Smith went down, and Pittman missed it. Oh, she was all alone. Probably could have dribbled another time there. That is a tough miss to take. Pittman's taken Tulane's last 4 shots now. They trail by 16 points. The only way back now is going to have to be on the defensive end.
We've got to get some stops.
Eaton for 3. They've been off the mark in this second half now. 0 of 5 is Memphis, after making 10 of their 15 first half triples.
Well, you had to think they were going to come back down to earth a little bit at some point.
Shores has had an excellent game, left that one strong, gets her own rebound. Can they get Keenan going? Has 4 threes in the game. It's Sneed, knife into the paint, and she lays it in. 8 points for Sneed, back to a 14-point game.
Great move inside by Sneed, and it was huge for them to be able to get a rebound there, because that's something they haven't been able to do. Those O boards haven't been easy to come by.
Only their second of the second half, had 4 in the first 20 minutes. Williamson hands off for Welch. Working on Hannah, got up in the air. Hageman is such a crafty veteran guard. Shot clock down to 6. Inside, pass deflected, stolen by Hannah. Trying to find an outlet, she does with Sneed. Little bump, no call. Sneed lofts it. Pittman waits patiently and scores. So Tulane's got the first 4 of the fourth. Remember, they scored the first 9 of the third.
If you can find Pittman down low and just hit her high so she just has to put it back up, that's going to be an easy look for Tulane.
They've gotten back-to-back stops, 12 for Pittman. Around the key to Welch. Guarded by Sneed, up top, Smith 3, no, rebound Sneed. Pulls in her third to go with 5 assists and 8 points. Sneed, dashing ahead, draws a foul.
Able to change her speed and the direction. Just got to contain it a little bit more.
Inbounds pass to Hannah.
Great basket by Hannah. She's somebody that can really find a good way to impact this game by attacking the glass there.
So Tulane back to within 10. Memphis has missed its last 6. Williamson turns the corner on Hannah. That one's off the mark. Pittman grabs a strong rebound in traffic and is fouled.
Low. And they're getting some calls, getting some easy, high percentage looks.
We've already seen Tulane overcome a couple of deficits entering the fourth quarter this year. Wins against Wichita State and ULM when trailing after 3. Gonna have to come back from 16 down today to do it.
And Memphis has given up some 10-point leads, and most recently they did so against UTSA.
They did. To the floor, tie up possession. We asked Alex Simmons about that. Her group saw UTSA close that game on a 19-6 run. She just said, look, the discipline wasn't there on both ends of the floor. Well, they've been a little undisciplined to start this fourth quarter.
Well, have they learned from that? You can see if they're going to lock in here in the last half of this quarter. She
feels like they're the best 3-13 team in the country. They've looked like it today. They do not look like what the record says. Inside, Smith hooks it up and off. Pittman's got an 8th rebound.
But to prove that, you have to finish, and it's going to come down to the end of this game.
Sneed all day to fire a 3. That one would have been huge. Pittman poked it away, loose on the for 9. Rest of the team is 1 for 10, which, by the way, is a similar trend to the Wichita game when V. Keenan made 4 of 5. Rest of the team was 0 for 16. Shores is fouled in the lane. A chance to defense her toughness, their ability to slow down some of these guards for Memphis. They couldn't free throw shooting team in the American. 63% coming in.
Well, especially when the clock stops and again have to get those free buckets.
So 2 missed free throws is a turnover essentially. And now you got to play defense again. Hageman turning the corner, banked it up and off. Memphis is now 0 for 5 here in the quarter. But can Tulane take advantage? It's Sneed to the rim. She put it up and in. It's down to single digits for the first time in a long time. Got to go back to early in the third.
Yeah, Sneed is such a fun player to watch. The way she can just get to the basket so quickly.
Sneed in double figures now with 10. Her 8th time with 10 or more points this year. Who's going to stop the drought for Memphis? Tilly Bowler's a good option. Falling away, her runner is short.
You see here, Tulane, just the give and go right there. She totally faked out her defender. Thought that she was going to pass it off, but instead she went straight to the hoop.
Hageman, that's a tough one. Pittman played her perfectly. Rebound through the legs of Williamson, and then a foul's called on Memphis. Alex Simmons followed her here to Memphis, and Sharice Pittman, by the way, is going to be a participant in this So You Want to Be a Coach program that will happen at the Final Four in Tampa this year. That's pretty cool.
It's such a great program that they allow for these student athletes to get an idea of what it actually is like to be a coach.
Ashley Langford took part in that program as well. So many great coaches have gone through it. It's a terrific thing that the WBCA puts on. And you got to be nominated for it. So Sharice Pittman, obviously, some values in her that her coaches and peers see that can make her a good coach down the road. Meanwhile, 8-point game here.
Yeah, you got to make the free throws.
By the way, speaking of great Tulane alumni who are in the building today, Tiffany Adu does a great job on our broadcast. Program director at Glorious USA Sport for Good Foundation, and it's the annual New Orleans Day of Sport today. Really a cool thing that they're putting on that she's leading. So appreciate Tiffany for all she's doing today, and we'll have her back on the air on Wednesday. A good finish inside there for Memphis, and that is their first points of the fourth quarter. They come on a layup in tight, and then a turnover on Tulane. So after the layup by Hageman, who now has 20 points, they've got the ball back up 10.
Memphis slowing the clock down here, trying to make as much time off the clock as they can with that 10-point cushion.
They missed their first 7 shots of the fourth until that make by Hageman. Bowler down the lane, flips it up and off. Pittman tips the rebound. Keenan couldn't find it initially, and then does track it down on the sideline. For Sneed. Sifting through traffic, finds Whittington. No look to Mabry. My goodness. An absolute dime dropped by Whittington. It's an 8-point game again.
Pretty ball movement by all.
Can they get a stop? Smith off her foot.
There you go.
It's a fourth Memphis fourth quarter turnover. Sneed down the lane. Whittington in the corner. Sneed. Keenan wide open 3. Bucket.
Close it out, especially on the road.
Yeah, to your point, again, Memphis this year has had a number of leads slip away, including Wednesday against UTSA when they were up 11 with less than 4 to play and lost by 2. They led this game by 18 points midway through the third. It's down to 5. Williamson thought about a mid-range. They go to Bowler. She'll try a 3. Left it short. Offensive rebound, Memphis. Missed inside by Sims. Here comes Keenan. They can make it a 1-possession game for the first time since early in the first quarter. And it's here at home. So Ashley Langford's team trying to gain some momentum. Right now they're trying to complete what would be a remarkable comeback. Started the fourth quarter down 16.
Yes, focusing on what's at hand here first before you think about the next schedule opponent. But it's all about making the right decisions and being quick with those decisions because, yeah, you still got to climb back in this one.
How about Pittman? Leans in and scoops it home high off the window. It's a 1-possession game.
Pittman has answered the call.
Pittman has put in 14. It's down to 3. Closest it's been since 4 minutes into the game. They run some dribble weave action for Sims. Backtracking on Mabry. This is Bowler in the lane, missed it. Rebound tipped around, secured by Keenan. They can tie it with a 3. Keenan's got 5 of them. And she'll slow it down for Sneed.
Smart. You don't want to play with adrenaline right here. Again, you want to look for your best shot.
We've had one tie in this game. It was at 3-3. Whittington searching, finds Pittman inside the arc. Follows her own miss, grabs it on the deck, outside to Keenan, and back to Whittington. We're inside the final minute. Another timeout for Ashley Langford. Even the attention she draws to maybe open up Pittman.
Absolutely.
Now Pittman will inbound to Sneed. Those two with Mabry, Whittington, and Keenan. Tulane can tie it with a 3. Inside 50 seconds. Sneed searching, watched by Hageman. They run Keenan off a screen for the tie. Rebound Hageman. Now they do not have to foul. There's about a 9-second difference in the clocks. So you can play this possession out defensively. And Ashley Langford telling her group that. Again, Tulane's got a ton of fouls to give, but gotta get a stop. Scoring drought for Memphis has surpassed 3.5 minutes. Hageman game high 20. Shot clock at 5. Kicks out for Bowler. On the baseline, Memphis defense. So Shores will trigger. 11.3. The inbound towards Pittman. It's taken away by Smith. And now they've got a foul, but it's not going to matter because they still have 3 more to give. Going all out for a steal this whole possession. Bowler will trigger with 7 seconds left. They find Williamson, who's grabbed right away with 6.3. And yeah, there's your...
Front of your man in between the ball here.
I'm doing some quick mental math in my head. This is another 3 seconds that's going to run off the clock or so. If 1 more before they're then fouling for the bonus. Bowler inbounds. They got to get Smith. They didn't call it initially on her. Eaton's dribbling out the clock. And she's fouled with .7. They were trying to... The inbound to Smith. And that'll do it.